What's up, everybody? This is Jimmy with Trading Decoded. It is August 15th, 2024. And I'm going to try and make today a quick video. I went from green to red, fortunately back to green, but it stands the whole testament. Sometimes leaving good enough is best. My first trade this morning was a call scenario. Market was very green. Everything looked good. And it went right to where we wanted it to go, and it got there quickly. It was a nice quick trade. I made good money on it, but it was too early in the day to be done. At least that's what I told myself. So I took a second trade, which was everything against what I always do. And I'm going to show you the chart. We'll get into it so I can explain it with some visual aid here. Pre-market lines, well, we drew them after the reports came out. Market was very happy with the reports that we got. Came in as expected with job reports and things of that nature. So we recognized it early that the market was very, very happy, very, very green. And so we've been preaching the entire time that we should be looking for reasons to take calls, not reasons to take puts. Had I only listened to my own words, I would have saved myself a whole bunch of anguish, and I would have avoided becoming a hold and hoper, which is exactly what happened to me on my second trade. I admitted it. I told everybody when I was getting in, and I told everybody when I should get out. But much like always, if I don't get out where I plan to get out, then I'll start making for reasons for why I should stay in. And guys, that doesn't usually end well, okay? And today was the case for me. So we were looking for calls above this line, above 549.51, hoping to make it at least to the first orange line high. We got that. That happened pretty quick, although it did bounce around on this line for some time before it catapulted up. Now, we did have a bunch of people take that trade, and that was it for them, one and done. I happen to get out of this trade during the printing of the second candle, so I got in here, got out here. It was about a 17% win. Very, very nice trade. At the time, Qs were holding support, so we were hoping the Qs were going to run up to the next line. They didn't do that very quickly. ADD was aggressively pushing up as well, so that's what held me in the trade a little bit longer. But then we just move our stops up, and when it doesn't go higher, instead it turns around, you get stopped out in profit. Here's where my bigger problem was. And this is something that I explain all the time in my videos. It's something I explain all the time in our community. I don't trade against the Qs. I don't like to trade against the Qs because to me, the Qs are what moves the market. But if you look at the Qs today, very, 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 very strong uptrend. Okay, I'm watching this happen. I'm going to get into my trade here, but I'm watching ADD sell off. And for whatever reason, I chose to stick with ADD, and I think I chose to stick with ADD because I was in puts, and I wanted this to save me. This didn't save me. This is what I should have been paying attention to. So what did I do? Well, we had broke the uptrend line, fine. We had pulled back off of a lower high. We were expecting support to fail. It did. But then we found solid support on this halfway point. This is a 50% retracement from pre-market high support to the next resistance up. That's it. It held. Then we pulled back. But at this time, we were watching Qs. Okay, so we're pulling back on SPY, 945. Qs were nearing this resistance that they were struggling to get through as well at 945. What I completely ignored, this is where my problem started, was we were coming off higher lows on the Qs. So I shouldn't be looking for puts in the first place. I jump into puts at 945. I'm expecting the Qs or hoping for the Qs to come right back down to this dotted line, which would have made for a nice, clean trade. I wanted to get in here and I wanted to get out when the Qs hit their dotted line. Well, the Qs never hit their dotted line. In fact, they shortly thereafter put in another higher low. This is where things are already looking like they're going against me. I had the opportunity to get out of this trade with decent profit, but no, I wanted more. We pull back. Now, my stop loss, worst case scenario, was if we got back above this resistance right here, which you can see SPY started putting in higher lows as well. All the signs were telling me this is not going to work. This was not going to work. But I'd already hit the point. I'd already hit the point where I said, you know what? Maybe this resistance on the Qs will keep us down. If that didn't work, which it didn't, maybe this orange line will do it. If we get through that line, I'll stop out. We get through that line, I'm not stopped out. Whether it's because I had a win on the first trade and I could afford to be stupid on the second trade, doesn't make it the right thing. But I was unraveling in front of God and everybody on this microphone today in the room. Not unraveling in a panic way, but I was falling victim to my own weaknesses. I know that if I don't stop myself out of a trade where I plan to stop myself out, it becomes a hold and hope. It's exactly what happened. I am watching the Qs move up, telling everybody, guys, don't trade against the Qs. I'm already in a trade. I got in because Qs were at resistance. I should have gotten out of it when I realized it wasn't working, which was shortly after getting in. Should have been a very small loss. Okay. Now, instead, I talked myself into staying in. Oh, maybe the 10 o'clock candle will save me. We get a nice red candle on 10 o'clock. I'm feeling pretty good. Maybe I'll get lucky. Nope. Up we go. And I said, man, I hope this wick right here is the one that saves me. Once this candle here at 10:02 started pushing up, and this, again, I usually wait for candle closes. I didn't wait for a candle close. I stopped out. You want to know where my profit target was on this trade? The same one as it was over here. I wanted to get out on this orange line. Okay. So as fortune would serve me, I literally stopped myself out of this trade at the highest point possible. And then 3 minutes later, it had plowed right down to my profit target, which would have yielded me about a 30% win, even after this. But instead, I gave up a 39.4% loss, which turned me red on the day by $850. So it consumed this entire trade up, all the profit I made on that, gave it all away and then some. And that never feels good. And I just wanted to hold myself accountable for that. I counter trend traded based on the Qs, which I never, ever do. We just got done talking about why you should be looking for calls, why you should be not ignoring the Qs ever. And I did it. I did it myself. So this is me being human. All right. But I quickly realized that, hey, Qs are on a tear today. Everything's pretty happy in the market. It looks good to the upside. Yes, we're going to have little pullbacks, but everything stayed green and the Qs kept getting greener, more green, I guess you could call it. So what I did was I said, you know what? This is a good opportunity if we can get above these resistances on Qs and SPYs to get into calls. I didn't take them here. Instead, I waited for SPY to make a support level here, which it did. And I waited for Qs to make a support level. And I took the trade. So I got into calls right here at 1025. SPY was holding support, trying to bounce up. We were hoping for SPY to at least make it up to 550.44. By the time SPY got there, Qs had already cleared its resistance. So we were aiming for the dotted line on the Qs. We got there. That's what this exit is here. That ended up being a 36.7% win, which fortunately brought me back out of the red and into the green. And that was my third and final trade for the day. After that, we had a grindy day to the upside. Bunch of opportunities during pullbacks to buy calls. Never did the words outside of this attempt, which I took. Puts came out of my mouth, even though we were suggesting nobody should be playing puts today. I did it anyway. I chose violence this morning. And then we kept trending up. And then we turned into a chart that was not worth touching. If you're trying to trade this late in the day, just like yesterday, unless you get in real early and you have the ability to hold late because your contracts made their way into the money, If you bought way out of the money here, even with a move like this, you probably had a very difficult time outpacing theta. It's very, very tough to do that, okay? We chose to close it down a little bit early. I think we closed the room down right around 330, 340. And then, of course, it moves right down to that same line that, you know, it was giving us grief. That's a 50% retracement level. Bounced off of it and up she went. But that's it, guys. So not much to talk about today. Made mistakes, and the community, it's about a 2-to-1 green to red ratio today. But holding and hoping sometimes pays, but sometimes you pay the price for it. You know, I was 1 minute away from holding on and hoping for one extra minute would have got me out of that trade with nice green profit. But sometimes you got to pay the piper. Today was my day. So with that said, I hope you found some valuable information in this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like, join our Discord community. Well, we'd love to have you. There is a link down below. First week's completely free. If you like what you get for that week, consider becoming a paying member. If you don't have to leave. You don't have to become a paying member. That's all. I hope you all did well today. Till tomorrow, I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you.